Jerry breaks the game. Gerardo rompe el juego.
Welcome to another Jerry Breaks the Game. I'm comedian Jerry Rocha, and in this episode, and because it's October, let's get a little spooky, I want to talk Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Before this one, I'd only played the Resident Evil remake for the GameCube, Resident Evil 4 Citizens on Patrol, and Resident Evil 5 The Final Frontier. I did like how Part 5 had more of an action shooter feel, and they say Part 6 was very similar, they being Wikipedia and a drunk person that I spoke to for too long at a GameStop. We're roommates now. Biohazard takes the Resident Evil series back to the survival horror roots of the previous games, and does it ever take it back in a great way. Every encounter feels like you have just enough or not enough ammo to make it through, and when the shit hits the fan, it leaves you so snake bit that in the moments where there aren't any action, you're just anxiously and nervously awaiting for shit to hit a fan. It's like as if dating a psycho were a really well-made, fun game to play. The most common and frequent enemy you encounter in the game are the molded. They're these humanoid sludge monster things, and they come in different varieties, so they're kind of like the Koopa Troopers of Resident Evil 7. They are best taken down with headshots, and just like every single Resident Evil game, I'm absolute shit at connecting with the headshot. How did that hit him in the fucking knee? There are some molded that don't have any arms, and I somehow shot them in the arms. Every encounter I was psyched up, I was feeling like Ripley in Aliens, but instead I was Lambert in Alien. Just froze up and fucked it up for everyone around me. I can't. Most of the game takes place in this giant ass haunted looking house estate in Louisiana, and I love that about the game. I also really wanted to live in that house too. I mean, just get rid of all the bullshit and obviously swap out some appliances. But I bet I could show that house to prospective buyers right now. And this is what the previous owners used as a children's room. Most of the sludge has been cleaned away, but in case anyone does attack your child in the middle of the night, in the toilet, there's some chem fluid and a green herb so they could make a health salve. I also like how in this game you're not a cop or a special agent of any kind. You're just a dude named Ethan who's trying to find his wife Mia, who went missing 3 years ago because she took a babysitting gig. She can't go change a diaper down the fucking street. She's got to leave town. I still don't get how Ethan fell for that. Bro, hopefully I'll see her again soon, but she's got kids to burp, and I promised I wouldn't get in the way of her career. I don't want to know what my girlfriend would say if I was like, honey, I know things have been fantastic, but I got a great job offer from a taco truck in Kentucky. They really need me. Hopefully it'll just be a few months. Oh!
Spoilers.
After 3 years of thinking Mia, his wife, was gone, Ethan gets a message, I guess, from Mia explaining to him where she is. This is told to us during the opening cutscene where you hear Ethan make maybe the dumbest phone call in history. It goes something like this. Bro, Mia's not dead, bro. Dude, for real? I shit you not, bro. I'm going to Louisiana to find her. Fucking A, dude. So I guess she can help us split the rent 3 ways when you get back, right? Look, there's gonna be a lot of plot holes, but the gameplay is really fun, so it doesn't really matter. Once Ethan is in this house where he thinks Mia is, he immediately finds a videotape that was left behind from a group of ghost hunters who went to this house thinking it was abandoned to try to find some shit. And they found some shit, but it does not end well for the ghost hunters. Ghosts don't even kill them. That's got to be the biggest letdown of them all. Talk about adding an extra level of, shit, our kid really was a loser, huh? To the family. Tell his mama a ghost got him, please. After Ethan sees the tape of the ghost hunters, he finds Mia in a prison cell in the bottom of this estate. He busts her out. She's completely out of it. She tries to help him find a way out, and then she just flips and turns on him. Tries to kill him. Ethan has to kill her with an axe. But then she comes right back to life and cuts his hand off. And then he has to kill her again. And after you've killed her, that's when you meet old Jack Baker, who lives with his family in the not-so-abandoned house. Now, I have no idea if Ethan was written to be the character that has the driest humor of any character in any video game ever, like a Bob Newhart in a survival horror game, or if he's just a massive dipshit. Because holy shit, it takes a lot just to crack him. After he kills his wife the second time, he doesn't even lament or get that excited. I think he just said, "What's going on here? This is some crazy house." Even if you're in an awful marriage, but it takes 8 headshots to kill your spouse who's trying to murder you with a chainsaw after they've already cut off your hand and their face has all this black sludge on it, you think at least one holy shit would happen. Or just make it a full-on comedy. Bam! Fuck yeah! Honey, I think it's time we start seeing other people. Also, Mia took bullets and axe shots to the head multiple times and was just fine. So why not keep her that way? This is how you make some money off this. Get her out of that fucking house, start touring with a circus, charge families money to come and brain her and then have her come back to life? Come on, son, it's embarrassing. Stop crying. Shoot her in the fucking head. She'll be fine. After the altercation with Mia, Jack knocks Ethan out and then Ethan comes to with his hand stapled back to his body? And then Ethan is at a very Texas Chainsaw Massacre dinner with a very Texas Chainsaw Massacre family, the Bakers. You have Jack the father, Marguerite, his wife, their son Lucas, and Jack's mother, who just sits and stares at you, and it's one of the most unnerving things in any video game ever. The Bakers are batshit crazy, evil, and, like Mia, superhuman. Soon, the family leaves Ethan alone at the dinner table. He gets up to try to find a way out. And then he runs into a cop who doesn't call for backup, but gives Ethan his knife? Dude, fuck the knife! Ask him for the car! Look, the story's not gonna make any fucking sense, but it's gonna be okay. And then comes one of the craziest moments in any game ever. Ethan follows the cop to the garage, where Jack sneaks up behind the cop and shoves a shovel through the back of his head. Ah! Is he dead? After that happened, it felt like the intro of the game was over and shit really starts to get cooking. Ethan, knowing that there's no help coming, now has to make his way through this estate while either fighting or hiding from the Baker family. Solving puzzles, slowly piecing shit together. He finds out a lot of people have gone missing near this house very recently. They can write a newspaper, but they can't send a fucking SWAT team? The Bakers also keep referring to this thing called her gift, which obviously is whatever turned the Bakers and Mia into what they are now. And you get to stare down creepy grandma a few more times too. And yes, you're gonna see several windows, a hole in a fence, a little gap in a fence where Ethan could have easily just made a run for it and got the fuck out of there, but come on, we all know common sense and horror do not go well together. Early on, one of the phones in the house that Ethan tries to pick up to no avail suddenly rings, and then you meet Zoe Baker, the daughter of Jack and Marguerite, who is seemingly trying to help Ethan. Ah, she's like the Marilyn Munster of the group. Zoe gives Ethan advice to navigate his way through the Baker estate and points to him to try to find a cure for the gift, while never once, using that fucking phone she has and calling for help. During all of this, Ethan has a showdown with Jack in the boiler room / fuck with all the people they've kidnapped room. Ethan ends up obliterating the upper half of Jack's body, so of course, Jack's really not dead yet. Okay, he's just 2 fucking legs. He's gotta be dead. The gift has made Jack Baker damn near unkillable. Ethan takes out Marguerite in my favorite boss battle of the game. The gift has Marguerite mutate into this insect lady with unnatural long arms and legs who can then summon massive insects to attack Ethan. She kinda got the shit end of the gift stick. Jack and Mia, you're gonna be unkillable. Marguerite, what do you think about millipedes? After the boss battles with Jack and Marguerite, that's kind of it. You then go to the Lucas section, which has a pretty gnarly flashback that tells you the fate of what happened to the cameraman for the Ghost Hunter show. A corpse painted to look like a clown calls him a loser, for starters. But it was a little disappointing that Ethan didn't have a boss battle with Lucas. That would have been kind of cool. Ooh, come on. I want to blast that Slipknot fan looking motherfucker. Instead, the Lucas section is just a much more violent version of Home Alone, where Lucas is Kevin and Ethan are the 2 burglars, but the booby traps don't get him. The boss of the Lucas section is just an extra large molded who also vomits at you. Lazy. Supposedly Lucas's story is more fleshed out in the DLC. Extra lazy, you greedy fucks. The best part of the Lucas sequence was meeting, for the first time, the real enemy of the game, a little girl named Evelyn, I don't fucking remember. She's the one who gave the Bakers and Mia all their superhuman abilities, and she can also control minds, hence Mia turning on you and trying to kill you at the beginning of the game. And I suppose that's why the Bakers went from peaceful, creepy rednecks to violent, creepy rednecks. And the molded are like Evelyn's little sea monkeys. You see her following Ethan and fucking with Ethan in some very quick flashes that are pretty creepy and fucking great. Eventually, Ethan is able to make his way through the house and make 2 vials of a serum that can cure the gift. He finally finds Zoe and Mia, and you guessed it, another boss fight with Jack, who's now the size of a tank. After Jack is toast, probably, only 1 vial remains. And you get to what I initially thought was one of the dumbest moments in video game history. Ethan now has to make a choice between saving Mia, his wife, who he's been pining over for 3 years and who he drove all the way to Louisiana to and stuck it out in this shithole house for hours, putting up with all this bullshit just to try to save her, or Zoe, a woman who he's talked to on the phone only for maybe 2.5 minutes combined tops. And yeah, at first you think it's insane that there's even a choice. Of course Ethan's gonna pick Mia. But I quickly took back my "this is the dumbest moment" comment and realized this was genius, because the game developers realized Ethan is a pretty dumb dude. After 3 years, we can finally be together. Ooh, oh. I tell you, that Zoe looks like she ain't half bad in the sack, and I think she's giving me that look. Shit! What to do? Of course I chose Mia. I don't know what would have happened if you chose Zoe. I'm hoping there'd at least been a quick cutscene of Mia going, "Are you fucking serious right now? Oh, okay, let's see her put up with all your massive hemorrhoids. Yeah, did you hear that, Zoe? Oh, guess what? He also has herpes and mommy issues. Have fun. Once you rescue Mia, you get on a boat to get the fuck out of here, and you realize she was lying to dopey-ass Ethan the entire time. Their little escape boat crashes right next to a massive shipwreck. And then you start playing the game as Mia. She goes into the ship, she's been there before, and then it goes to a flashback of 3 years prior. Mia wasn't a nanny at all. She was part of some secret group who developed Evelyn as a living bioweapon and aged her to look like a little girl. And then Mia and her co-worker had to travel with Evelyn as a family on a cruise ship? But this is where the game lost me just a smidge. It's not that the flashback and Mia stuff was bad. It was fine. But I missed the Bakers. They were beyond the heart and soul of the game. And once you're done with them, the "I'm starting not to give a shit" meter fills up real quick. It's like as if after Hendrix's Woodstock set ended, they were like, "No, everybody stick around. The roadies want to come out and play a tune. Come on, it'll be fun." During the Mia sequence, I was half expecting Ferris Bueller just to pop up and be like, "You're still here? The game's over. Go home." During the Mia sequence, you also put together very quickly that Ethan was not, in fact, a very dry written character. That was giving him the benefit of the doubt. No, he's a massive fucking moron. Mia was a scientist who helped create a fucking mind-controlling, sludge-vomiting biological weapon built to look like a little girl, and she convinced this fucking moron that she was a babysitter. "Bro, I just had to drop Mia off at her latest babysitting gig, bro. It's pretty wild, but I guess she's babysitting a bunch of kids in a chemical plant that's like 40 stories underground." And it got me just a little paranoid. Thankfully, my girlfriend works from home, so I can see what the fuck is going on. And surprise, surprise, during this little 3 men and a little lady boat trip just to see how Evelyn would do out in the world, it all goes to shit. Gee, you don't say. She kills everybody on the boat except for Mia, who she wants to believe is her mother. Just say you're the mom. Keep the fucking psycho happy. The ship crashes right outside the bayou, right behind the Baker estate, and that's how Evelyn infected all of them. All the people that went missing near the Baker estate were people that Evelyn just wanted to hope to add to her brand new giant family. She's like Vin Diesel in the Fast and Furious movies. Once the Mia section is ended, it looks like she sacrificed herself to let Ethan escape Evelyn. Ethan makes his way back to the house for the final showdown where it turns out, holy shit, Evelyn was that old lady the whole time. She aged very rapidly over the 3 years. There's a clue earlier in the game in a note that Ethan finds that implies that Jack's mother was deathly ill a few years ago. But I was too dumb to figure that out. Is that a work email alert, or are you making some demon kid? Hun? The final battle with Evelyn has her turn almost King Kong sized, and Ethan is able to finally destroy her with a gun that some dude from a chopper drops and tells him to use. Where the fuck were these assholes a few hours ago? After Evelyn is destroyed, you find out the chopper people turn out to be the Blue Umbrella Corporation, which I suppose is a friendly offshoot of the evil Umbrella Corporation from the earlier games. And the guy who dropped Ethan the gun turns out to be Mr. Resident Evil himself, Chris Redfield, who's now working for the Blue Umbrella Corporation. I guess it's like when Sting was forced to pick a side with the NWO and chose the Wolfpack. After the battle, you see a very wounded and out of it, but very much alive Mia in the chopper with Ethan as they presumably are finally going home. But it was still so somber that it kind of defeated the high of destroying Evelyn. Soy el niño más bonito. Soy el niño más chiquito. Resident Evil 7, if you've never played it, I highly recommend it, especially during Halloween time. It's intense, it's very creepy, and it's very well worth your time. Just ignore the plot holes that are big enough to drive the fucking Death Star through. Thank you for watching Jerry Breaks the Game with me, comedian Jerry Rocha. If you enjoyed this, and I really hope you did, please subscribe. Click that little bell so you're notified every time a video comes out. Give it a thumbs up, spread the word, all that good shit. And the more you do that, the less I have to break your balls about it. Stay safe, keep playing, and see you soon.
Jerry broke the game. Gerardo rompió el juego. La da da, la da da, la da da.